Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw number 249, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So as ever, let's crack on. This is from Northwestern University and this is legged metamachines. So these slightly creepy doodads are physical representations of what's been trained in software to evolve, and they're always trying to win, essentially. So you can chop off their legs and they will still try to get to their destination. They are unstoppable. You can have many different formats of these things, but the point is a lot of other robots, if something changes in the environment, they can't deal with it, whereas these things evolve to actually work with the environment and get to their destination. So there you go, slightly creepy. In the future, this is what will be chasing you. Some good news from Denmark. There is some good news in the world. They are swapping out certain portions of their road streetlights for red lights. This is to help the critters. So as we've known for many, many years, obviously the growing streetlights, or at least from cities as well, are disrupting animal behaviours. And red light, it turns out, is the least disruptive, but still being useful for us so we can drive cars, etc. So this is for the bats, this one specifically. So, obviously the bats fly across this road, and bats are, even in Denmark, still useful for eating mosquitoes and keeping them under control. So hopefully a little bit more critter friendly. This is from Honor. This is the robot phone, not out just yet, but maybe out halfway through this year towards Christmas. And yeah, this is the robot phone because it has a robot arm in it. So yeah, it's a motion stabilized gimbal. That's all the basic stuff, but it also does cute little preset transformations and movements. And it can even respond to your voice and it can nod. This is kind of creepy. It's like in the streets, it can recognize small children and stare at them, which is funny. But there you go. Yeah, so this is a bit of a PR. This is really just making sure everybody's talking about Honor because they've got some new phones out. So we may not never see this thing, but it's interesting. And there you go. If you want one, you can't have it just yet. Only available in China later on. This is going to be really tricky to describe, but Germany has 30 kilometers of the quantum internet based on their latest test. So I'll explain what this is. I'm probably going to get this horribly wrong, or at least muller it, but the quantum internet is really, essentially, it's having two entangled particles which you can separate. And because you've separated them, essentially a quantum entangled particle, they have the same information. If you try and observe the particle on one of it, then the other one will know, they won't match. So the good thing about this is if you're trying to send photons along these networks, then actually if you try and look at it, by looking at it, you change the photon. And therefore when it arrives, you know it's been fiddled with. So it's really good for encryption. So what Deutsche Telekom have done is they've used normal networks and sent these photons down 30 kilometers of normal congested fiber optic cable, and they still managed to actually get these photons to appear the other end with 90% fidelity. So it's all about noise reduction and all that sort of stuff. So again, really, really complicated. This is probably the best diagram you're ever going to get, which is as complicated as the actual concept. But just let you know that we now have 30 kilometers of quantum internet near Berlin in Germany. There you go, weird. NVIDIA might have basically caused a little bit of a cage rattling for Tesla et al. So they have released essentially an open model for autonomous driving. And it's slightly different from the other models, Tesla's for instance. In Tesla's is more sort of reactive to visual stimuli, whereas this one actually has what they call VLA, which is vision, language, action. So not only does it react to the visual stuff, but it actually tries to describe what it is and then have a reaction to that as well. So it might say, oh no, somebody's run out, okay, I should apply the brakes. And likewise, the good thing about this one is there is a chain of consciousness, as it's called, which is like, what did I do to get to this point, which can then be logged. Unlike the other systems, which just sort of reacted and you're not quite sure what happened, these ones say, so what decision did you make and why did you make it? So there you go. But this is available to anybody. It's upon Hugging Face, for instance. They're also doing a pilot with Mercedes, and this is a Mercedes car using it there. Very interesting. This is an interesting app. It's Android only, but you can download it. And it will tell you if anybody nearby is using smart glasses. So this is really sort of born of border control using smart glasses in some of their raids. So if you know somebody's got one of these, but also creepy people wear these things as well. So it uses the Bluetooth ID signals coming from the phone. If it recognizes one of those, it sends you an alert and tells you there's one nearby. There you go. So doesn't work on iPhones, but does work on Android phones. It's available on the Google Play Store. And finally, we have Doom. I haven't done a Doom thing in a while, but we have Doom running on brain cells. So this is 20,000 neurons on a chip. And what they've done is they've figured out how to take the video input of Doom, turn it into electrical signals, and then train neurons on those. Here they are here. They train each one of these little batches of neurons on the electrical signals sent from a game. And therefore what they then do is they then say, well, if I sense these combinations, then what I'll do is I'll shoot, or I'll move left, or I'll move right, whatever it is. So you can see the little neurons firing in that dotty grid there, which is very interesting. So point of this one is we can now train neurons, and they've figured out how to interface them with Python. So you can actually get these machines, there's one there, that you can now talk and train brain cells. Who'd have thunk? So there you go. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was useful. I will see you again next week.